My name's Eric. I'm a digital nomad traveling around the country in my Subaru Forester, and today I'm escaping normal life in the Catskills Mountains.
I can't get you out of my mind. I can't get you out of my mind. I can't get you out of my mind. Can't get you out of my mind.
I've spent a few days in Pennsylvania, much more than I anticipated. I thought for sure that I would just get out of Virginia and go straight to New York. But as I entered into the state and started looking at the map, there was quite a few places that seemed interesting to me, and I'm glad I was able to check them off. So as I looked north to a map and noticed that the Catskill Mountains are only about an hour and a half away from me, I've got all sorts of places mapped out to check out while I'm there. And the first place I'm going to go to has a bit of history.
When the morning's standing at your door, brighter than our mornings come.
Well, good morning. I have crossed the Delaware River, which means I am officially out of Pennsylvania and now in the state of New York. And the first place I'm headed to this morning had a huge gathering place over the course of just 3 days in the late 60s. Can you guess what it is? All right, I'll elaborate a little bit more when I get there.
It is clear and in the light is clear. Don't be late, my dear.
Well, I am in the town of Bethel, New York. And if that town doesn't sound familiar to you, then I guarantee you the event that happened here in 1969 does. This is the site of the original Woodstock Music Festival. For 3 days in August in 1969, 3 things happened here: peace, love, and music. 450,000 people showed up, well above the expected crowd that they thought was going to show up. The town of Bethel was picked because originally Woodstock was supposed to happen in the town of Woodstock, but at the last minute, the town actually bailed on the entire project, citing that it was probably too big for their liking and they didn't really want a massive music festival here. So, as the promoter scrambled quickly, they found this area, which was farmland, and the rest is history. So there is a giant peace sign in the grass here. I don't know if it's going to come out on camera very well, but someone mowed a giant peace sign in the grass. This is a map showing you where all these things were for the original festival. This is where I currently am. The stage would have been all the way over here, right in front of this pond, and the pond probably won't come out on camera very well. Zoom in, it's way back there. I think that's a private residence now. But yeah, we would have been way back here, and the stage would have been way out in front of us. So I think the thing that is most interesting to me is that this is the Bethel Woods Art Center. And this area is still massive. You probably can't see it on camera, but there is so much parking back there and back where I parked that they clearly still do massive events here. I'm not quite sure what, but there is just so many acres here for parking that clearly they hold some pretty big events here still. Well, I just left the Woodstock historical site, and that was pretty cool to see. Just driving around this area is really beautiful. It's mostly just farmland. I did pass just a really small town. I guess that's the town of Bethel. I guess technically that's where Woodstock was held, like I've mentioned. All right, next I'm headed to a little hike. There's a waterfall, and I think you can do some swimming there. All right, well, I'm at Pickamoose Falls, and online it showed that people were like swimming in this area, and while you could, it's really only like shin-high water. So I was kind of hoping to get here and not only see the falls, but also get into the water a little bit and do some swimming, because it's pretty hot out here. However, there are some other trailheads just down the street here, so I might go there and see if there's any more places that people can swim at, because I think I saw more people kind of like carrying like bags, which may have towels and stuff in them. So I'm gonna check that out. All right, well, I am 0 for 2 in finding these natural swimming areas that you can jump into, lakes and streams, and this spring head that I was trying to get to today. So I am technically in the Catskill Mountains here. This particular area is known as Pickamoose Valley. So there's two things that I was driving here on this road to see today. Some falls, some waterfalls you can go to, and a blue hole water spring area that you can jump into the water and do some swimming. I did the waterfalls, they were beautiful, and 2 was the swimming area known as Blue Hole, and apparently it's the most popular spot in all the Catskills, or at least that's what the girl who's selling tickets for it said. Because that's right, you have to have a permit, a ticket to get into the Blue Hole swimming area. It gets so popular. And of course I don't have a permit because I didn't know anything about that. So 2 days ago I tried to get into the Seven Tubs recreational area in Pennsylvania, and that was closed. And today I tried to get into the Blue Hole swimming area here in the Catskill Mountains, and that was closed. So I am 0 for 2.
We were once inseparable. We were closer than two of a kind.
So I am here at the world's largest kaleidoscope. I found this on Atlas Obscura. It's in Mount Trepper, New York, in the Catskill Mountains, and is located inside the Emerson Resort and Spa. Let's go check it out.
But time flies. Yes, time.
That was pretty cool. The woman actually told me I can just lay on the ground to see it because I'm the only one in here. But if you wanted to, you actually just kind of lean up against these chairs and then just kind of lean back and watch it. But I just stayed on the ground. So I just had someone on camera explain a little bit how they made the world's largest kaleidoscope here at the Emerson Lodge. She didn't really want to be on camera, but she was okay with just kind of explaining everything.
This is how they built the silo into the kaleidoscope. So they took this dairy farm from the 1800s. It was originally the Risley Farm, 600 acres. And back in 1996, they renovated it. This is Dean Gitter, the partner at the time, who had a collection of kaleidoscopes. So here is how they turned the silo into a kaleidoscope. It took a 100-foot crane just to lower the mirrors in. These mirrors are 37.5 feet and they weigh 5,000 pounds. So when you go inside, you'll be looking up through the mirrors. What we did was create 10-minute theme shows that were filmed professionally with music for this. And so far we've made 5 different shows over the years. So we project those images through the top of the mirror and the mirror kaleidoscope. So it comes out really cool.
That is cool. Thank you so much for explaining
You're
that.
welcome.
You said open again in 1996?
Yes. And it went in the Guinness World Book of Records in 1997.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yes, time
I absolutely love these little small mountain towns. This is exactly why I do this lifestyle. When you come across these little places, they just make you slow down and just really appreciate everything. If you talk to a local here, I'm sure they'd be like, yeah, this place sucks. It's boring. There's nothing to do. There's no big city amenities, but that's the charm. It doesn't even have cell phone reception here. Like, it's just so slow and paced out that you just can't help but slow down and just relax. There's a lot of reasons why I do the travel lifestyle. This kind of town really is one of them. It's just so easy for you to find a place to sleep, and that's a big one. When you are having to find a new place to sleep every single night, trust me, it is so appreciative when you find a place that's quiet, that you know you're not going to get harassed, that you know you can sleep comfortably in. And that has all that here. Plus there's some great hiking. The mountains are right here. There's some waterfalls I'm going to hike to tomorrow. So I love this place. Well, home sweet home for the night. Not too bad. It's going to be nice and quiet here. This is a forested area in the Catskills Mountains, and this is completely free to stay at. I only have 1 bar of cell phone reception, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch a movie or not. It might be kind of boring. And this ground is pretty rocky, and so I don't think I'm going to be able to put up my mosquito netting that I put on the back of the car a lot when it gets really buggy, because I think it's going to get really buggy tonight. But it's going to be nice and quiet, and that is so important to me. I wish I could also sleep with the windows down and just have the nice mountain air come in the car. Unfortunately, I know that there are black bears in this area, and they would just smell all the food in the car. So even with the mosquito nets on the windows tonight, that doesn't feel very safe. So I'm going to sleep with the windows up and probably just use my camp fan for a little air circulation in the car. But the most important thing is just going to be nice and quiet here. I have the whole spot to myself. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a hike up to some waterfalls. I was going to go today, but I just honestly didn't feel like hiking today. I felt like I was just grabbing a pizza and just kind of laying low for the rest of the day. I've been doing a lot of driving. So tomorrow, I'm going to do this hike, and then I'm not really quite sure after that. Wow, it is really stunning here. So this hike is going to go along this river the entire time, I'm pretty sure, because when I get to the top, there's going to be a really big waterfall that I'm hiking to. But just these little waterfalls like this are really beautiful. There's also just a tad bit of mist, fog in the air, so it really makes for some epic scenery. Oh man, one thing's for sure though, these rocks are like ice. Very, very slippery. Everything around here has been wet for a long time. And it rained a little bit this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and start heading back. Maybe I can pick up some Wi-Fi in town and see where my next destination is. So I am in the actual town of Woodstock right now. This is where the music festival was originally supposed to happen, but of course it did happen about 60 miles southwest from here in the town of Bethel. Still a neat little town to walk around and see. It's pretty small. I didn't expect much here. These little mountain towns never have a lot, but that's what I love about them. All right, so I am sweltering. I am so hot. My shirt is just drenched in sweat. I looked online and it looks like there's a lake not too far from here, and people have said they've gone swimming there before. So I think I'm gonna go jump in this lake and just cool off. Well, online it says that you can swim here. It doesn't say it's a really popular spot, but clearly it is because there's cars everywhere. So we'll see what this is like. Oh my God, did that feel good. So refreshing. The water was cold, but it felt so refreshing to jump in there. I was just sweltering earlier. My shirt was just drenched in sweat. I didn't even want to put this shirt back on. It was just gross. All right, I'm headed to my camp spot for the night, and it's actually at a lake. I have really lovely lake hair from swimming in that lake. Yeah, great day today. So I am at Cooper Lake, and I am actually parked right across the street over there. That's gonna be my sleeping spot for the night. Over there where I'm parked, there's a little like turnoff. So I'm kind of like tucked in a little bit more, and I always like to be a little bit more, I don't know, less obtrusive. There are houses around here, so I kind of just want to be out of people's way and stuff. And I have a great view for coffee in the morning. So yeah, great day. Walked around the town of Woodstock. Really cool little bohemian town. I could see why this was picked to be the music festival site originally. Then I went to a lake and jumped in there. I think it was called Big Deep was the name of the lake. And I just swam around for a little bit. That was really nice and refreshing because it was really hot. Talked to a new potential client, which is great. If you didn't already know what I do for a living, I do freelance video editing work. So on top of having a YouTube channel, which I make some money at, but I don't make livable money off YouTube, unfortunately. So I do video editing work freelance for anybody who needs my services. I have a Fiverr account. If anybody's interested, link is below, contact me. So I'm just gonna sit here for a minute, relax, enjoy the view, start making dinner. I'm really hungry, and just call it a night pretty early probably. Good morning. It is 8 a.m. I am hot. I am about to jump into a lake to cool off. So last night I slept at this trailhead, and there is a very popular lake that you can swim in here. And there was actually cars that started showing up here at 7 a.m. Actually, I think one of them showed up here before 7 a.m. So kind of woke up pretty early. I wake up like 7 a.m. every morning now anyways, since living in the car. I have gone 6 days now without a shower. It's not my record. My personal record is 8 days. But it has been a while since I've had a shower. I'm still in the town of Woodstock, and I've been here for the past 4 days. I thought I'd only be here 1 day max, but as I got here, work orders started coming in, which is really good because I haven't had any new work orders in like at least 2 weeks now, and things have been a little tight this month. So it's good that I got some work orders in. It made me go to the library and just work, which is great. I've been in the air conditioning, and that's nice. But I have not really had an opportunity to explore the area like I thought I would. So being in the air conditioning has made it where I'm not as stinky as the person who has gone 6 days without a shower. But still, I'm on day 6. Everything else is going pretty good. I've explored a lot of really great areas up here in the Catskills, and I absolutely love this area. I'm absolutely loving the town of Woodstock. It is absolutely everything you'd expect from the town of Woodstock, New York. It's very welcoming, and that's huge. There are really cool shops and restaurants and stuff to explore. The library has got great hours for me to work at. I've had nothing but success on finding great places to sleep. I slept next to a lake the first night and a trailhead the last 2 nights, where I did get to meet some other travelers, which was really cool. Tim and Caro from Belgium. Tale of Tim, if you check out his channel. Great channel, great content. And so that was really nice. I don't get an opportunity to talk to a lot of other humans. So having 2 nights of being able to talk to other nomads was really nice, and just a great way to actually be social again, because it's just me all the time, right? I don't get a chance to really talk to a lot of other people. So I do have to leave the area by tomorrow, however. There are a few things that I want to do before I get up to Maine, and I have to be there on Tuesday because a friend is flying in, and we're going to explore Acadia National Park and parts of Maine and New Hampshire. So that's really cool, but I do have to get up there, obviously, by a very specific time. The only other thing I'm starting to just have a little bit of problems with is my power setup. So I use a Anker lithium-ion battery, which is just like a Jackery if you're more familiar with that brand. It's the same exact thing. It is a lithium-ion battery. It's 1800 watts, and it powers all my electronics. I've talked about it before. I won't go into big depth or anything with it. It also powers my fridge. So the problem is that thing needs to be charged in order to work, right? Well, I've been at a library sitting parked for 8 hours a day for the past 4 days. So this thing is not being charged while I'm parked because it gets charged via the car. I do have solar, and I've been using solar to charge it, but my solar is just not enough wattage. It's only 110 watts to charge this 1800 watt battery. It's just the biggest panel I could afford. I couldn't afford anything bigger, like a 300 watt panel. I wish I had a bigger solar panel to charge this thing, but I don't. So I say all that because when I'm parked in a place for a really long time, like I have been for the past 4 days at the library, and the car's not on, I can't charge the battery. The fridge that I use has to get power to it. It's got meat and dairy and stuff in it. It has to be cooled off. So I have to plug it up to the battery. So I do kind of struggle with just keeping this battery charged enough to provide power to the fridge. That's really been my biggest struggle. So there have been times where I just have to turn the car on and drive around town for a little bit just so the car can charge the battery, so that the battery can provide power to the fridge. And a lot of times I plug up the fridge directly to the car because I have a 200-watt power inverter for the car, and I can plug up the fridge directly to the car, and the fridge can run off the car versus the battery. So when I'm driving, I do that. But you know, if you have a house or an apartment or something like that, you deal with different kind of problems, right? And you probably will have things like air conditioner problems or leaky faucets or plumbing or something like that. So it's not really that much different. And they're not detrimental. Everything's working. It's just I have to figure out a way that I can keep that battery charged, that can keep my fridge cool. So I might have to invest in a bigger solar panel or something sometime, so that when I'm parked for long periods of time, it's getting enough wattage to actually charge that panel. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I am roasting. It's only 8:20 and it is pretty hot out here. So I'm gonna go jump in this lake and cool off. Really hard for my mind to overcome because I'm from Florida, and when you get into lakes, there's also things that kill you in the lakes, like alligators. So this is very weird for me to get into a lake where nothing will attack you. Hopefully. I've probably never felt more like a hippie than this week. I haven't showered in 6 days. I'm in the town of Woodstock. I've jumped in a lake twice to cool off. I live in my car. I already listened to the Grateful Dead. If I changed my car out to a VW bus, then the transition would be complete. All right, so I'm at Catskills Falls. I really am not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm gonna go with that pronunciation. And I read online that this is a popular hike, and that is very true. I got here around 11:30, and it was packed in the parking lot. So, very popular hike, but that's fine. I'm hoping that the fall there's something I can get into, get nice and cooled off. Although I'm pretty sure I'm also going to come across a Planet Fitness for the first time in about 6 or 7 days. So I'm going to get a proper shower today. That will be nice. Oh my God, is it packed here? The water feels really good, but it is very, very, very cold. I would guess anywhere between 50 and 60 degrees. I'd be surprised if it was anything above 60, honestly. It was very cold. Felt very good. It was very cold. Well, I am at the Chesterfield Gorge in New Hampshire. And if I'm in New Hampshire, then that clearly means I am no longer in the Catskills Mountains back in New York. I left New York yesterday and passed through Vermont, where I stayed for the night at a beautiful place last night to sleep. And today, passed through New Hampshire. I intentionally came here to check this out. And later today, I'll be in Maine. Tomorrow, I'm picking up a friend from the airport in Portland, and we are going to explore Acadia National Park for a few days, northern Maine, and parts of New Hampshire. So I can't wait to show you what I see there. I absolutely loved my time in the Catskills. I cannot wait to go back and see even more of that area, because I did have to work for several days while I was there. So I didn't get to explore for the last few days as much as I really wanted to. But you know, you got to pay the bills, right? Well, before I head out and get on the road for a few hours to drive up to Maine, as always, I want to say thank you for escaping normal life with me. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Emily Moratea, who left me a super thanks. That was super awesome. I super appreciate it. If you'd like to be super amazing and leave me a super thanks, you can do so in the button below, and I would be super grateful.
You should know.